Hello everyone, welcome to The Author's Crown. My name is A Crown. In this channel I will present to you stories written by both myself and occasionally stories written by good friends of mine. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Today's story is the first episode of a series I've dubbed Battle for the Fighterverse. It is a multiversal series in which characters from many different fighting games battle for control of the Fighterverse, in which all fighting game characters reside. So sit back and enjoy the show. Inside of the darkness, a massive light flashed and numerous shapes appeared within. As the shapes began to talk and question their surroundings, the lights all around came to life, revealing a massive group of people in various different attires. They look around the open space surrounded by sleek metal walls. After they begin to disperse, a man whose eyes glow white and wearing a white and blue outfit with a straw farming hat exclaims, "By the Elder Gods, what is this place?" Another man wearing a blue and black uniform with a blue mask covering the bottom half of his face says, "Lord Raiden, is that you?" Raiden replies, "Yes, Sub-Zero, it is I. I am glad to see a familiar face amongst these strangers." He shakes hands with Sub-Zero, and another man calls out, "Raiden, Kuai Liang!" A man wearing a black and yellow attire and a yellow mask walks up and gives Sub-Zero a friendly hug and then bows to Raiden. Sub-Zero says, "Hanzo, you're here too?" Raiden then asks, "Master Hisashi, do you have any idea where we have been teleported? It is nowhere in any of the realms I know." Scorpion answers, "No, but it does remind me of the Watchtower from when I visited the world of the Justice League." A young man adorned in red armor with fire burning on top of his head walks up and says, "Justice League? Scorpion, is that you?" He then recognizes Sub-Zero and Raiden says, "You guys are here too? I thought it was just me, the Doc, and Atrocitus." Raiden identifies the young man and says, "Firestorm, do you have any idea where this place is?" "Nah, I was just asking Dr. Fate over there," he replies. Then a man in a blue suit with a golden armor and a large golden helmet. Raiden says, "Well, I'm glad to see a more familiar face." Dr. Fate responds, "Thank you, Raiden, God of Thunder and Protector of Earthrealm. It is indeed beneficial to have you here as well." Atrocitus, the rage-wielding Red Lantern, walks up and says, "What is this place? I cannot sense any of my Red Lanterns." Firestorm replies, "Did you not hear any of that? None of us know." Atrocitus growls and snaps back, "You do well to hold your tongue, boy." Scorpion pulls out his kunai and tells him, "Watch yourself, monster, or I will take you out, here and now." Atrocitus smiles and replies, "I sense great rage in you. You would make a great Red Lantern." He holds his ring out and Scorpion approaches him, but Raiden stops him, saying, "Now is not the time for combat." As Raiden attempts to defuse the situation, a loud and echoing voice says, "Welcome, fighters, to the Supreme Arena. I am Oros, Guardian of the Fighterverse." All the fighters turn to look and see a large green and gold robed figure. He then says, "I imagine you are all wondering why I have brought you here." A figure wearing black and red spandex with a mask, wielding pistols and katanas, says, "I assume it's because Crown wanted to put as many characters in this as possible to draw the series out." The short-haired man next to him with the sword on his back says, "What the hell are you talking about, Deadpool?" Deadpool looks up and says, "He knows what I'm talking about." Oros then says, "Recently I have grown complacent in my role as Guardian of the Fighterverse, and I have decided to choose one of you to take my place." Raiden looks around at the gathered fighters, and a man in samurai armor says, "Will you decide this?" Oros then replies, "In battle, a tournament with universal consequences." "And what happens if we refuse to fight in this tournament?" Raiden asks. Oros looks at Raiden and says, "You are welcome to decline participation, but if you do, you will be left to the devices of whoever wins." Raiden then examines the rest of the fighters, seeing a few menacing-looking ones. Oros then points to a screen and a picture of the fighters are grouped in threes. He then says, "You will fight in groups of 3 with warriors from your universe. If you lose the first round, do not fret. You will have a second chance. In the end, it will come down to 2 teams. Any questions?" Nobody says anything too. And then Oro says, "Now pay attention to the screen. The first 2 teams will begin their battle shortly." Pictures of the teams then begin to rapidly change, and Oro says, "The first 2 teams will be..." The pictures of the teams then stop, revealing the teams of Firestorm, Atrocitus, and Dr. Fate against Ryu, M. Bison, and Blanca. Oros then says, "Teams 1 and 2 remain here. Everyone else, please join me in the viewing areas." The other fighters follow Oros towards sets of stairs, but Raiden stops next to Firestorm and says, "Good luck, Firestorm. May the Elder Gods bless your combat." Firestorm loosens himself up and says, "Thanks, Raiden." Raiden nods and then joins the others as the fighters prepare themselves. The 2 teams stare each other down, and Ryu, a muscular man wearing a red headband and a white martial arts uniform, says, "I am looking forward to this test of skill." Firestorm then looks to Dr. Fate and says, "Man, this guy's intense." Atrocitus eyes up M. Bison, who's garbed in a red military uniform with a cape and silver wrist and leg bracers. The Red Lantern points at M. Bison and says, "You! I can sense your numerous victims. They all cry out for vengeance." M. Bison, with his arms folded, laughs and replies, "Ha ha 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 ha! You are no match for my psycho powers. My victims will have no vengeance, and you will taste no victory." Blanca pumps his arms, growling, and says, "The jungle has taught me secrets you could never understand." Dr. Fate surrounds himself with floating Ankh symbols and replies, "The Lords of Order know all. You possess no secrets that are kept from me." Blanca growls and discharges electricity as Oro's voice commands, "Fighters, begin!" The 2 teams then leap towards each other as the other fighters watch on. And that's the story for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you like what you heard today, stay tuned for some awesome things to check out on the Zero to Hero Network. And thank you for listening to The Author's Crown. Subscribe to the channel! Do it now!
My name is Ace, and I use a device called the Color Matrix, which allows me to hijack alternative universe versions of myself. I have the multiverse at my disposal. From being a Power Ranger, to being a Spider-Man, to piloting the Orville, to being a Vampire Slayer. I can do it all. I can spend 8 hours of my time. Of course, time is different in each universe, but 8 hours of my time piloting a version of myself. So come, explore the multiverse with me. See what my world is like in different universes. Explore the multiverse. If you want to hear such stories, then come and listen to The Color Matrix on Tiger Tales, The Lost Stories, found on YouTube.
Hey there, podcast listener. You enjoying what you're listening to? Well then, do I got a special treat for you. Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637. That's me. I'm your host, and I like to tell you stories. Stories that I personally enjoy. So, buckle up, get comfortable, because we're going on a wild ride.
Hey, I know you've been enjoying what you're listening to. Please insert name of show here. And if you've been enjoying that, come on over to the Zero to Hero podcast, where Billy and myself, the Bulk and School of Podcasting, go through and examine all kinds of things like 90s nostalgia, the moon landings, historical plots, assassination attempts, and, weirdly enough, genetics. Come on over to the Zero to Hero podcast if you want to talk about weird things.